Alrighty, so I'm going to have a little chat with you all today. So if you've been following my channel, you know that I'm a homeschooling parent. I have ADHD, my kids have ADHD, and yeah. We are getting back to the point where we are at our first full year of homeschooling full time. Now, my daughter did get homeschooled for pre-K, and my son is also being schooled for pre-K as well. Now, education is extremely important to me, and I think that it is very important that my children have a good, solid education that is not some like religious zealot cults, whatever, you know what I mean. I am not one of those kind of parents. I'm a very chill parent. And what I've learned through this process is a lot of people have a lot of opinions about homeschooling, and to be completely frank with you, I don't really care. So if you're interested in homeschooling, this would be the number one thing that you need to do is just not care what other people are saying about you or what you're doing, because everybody's going to have an opinion about everything. So that's the big thing that you're going to learn in the first year is you're going to have to do what's good for your kids. What your students are learning is really up to you as their teacher. Second, I'm not a huge fan of unschooling. There, I said it. I'm sorry. I know there's some zealots out there that absolutely love it, but I'm not a big fan of it. I am definitely a person who likes routine, and my kids thrive best under routine. So unschooling is not really a conducive lifestyle for me and my children and how we learn. That said, I took a very traditional route for homeschooling. That means that we learn from books, not computers. We do a lot of the work, and honestly, it's a lot of work for me. It's like having a full-time job, being a homeschooling teacher. I do curriculum prep. I do all kinds of fun stuff, have to prepare all of the lessons, make sure that I know what they're going to be learning this week, etc., etc., etc. It actually takes me 3 hours on Fridays to be able to keep up on top of their schoolwork. I'm a very traditional teacher, I've found out. I didn't know this about myself, but I'm very traditional. I like a whiteboard. I use it all the time. I have one in my kitchen now. Moving on to point 3 of things that I've learned this year, I learned that I needed to be open and flexible in my teaching method and not hold myself so accountable and harshly. This means that if my child is balancing on her hedgehogs to do her schoolwork, if it's helping her, then I need to just let her do her thing. If reading is best done in the car on the way over to cheerleading practice, well, guess where we're reading? So being open and flexible was something that I had to learn this year, and I think it was really important, and I will do a whole nother video on the balance technique because that actually really helped. Last, every single person and their brother is going to say something about, I keep worried about your kid not being socialized. First thing everybody's going to recommend is a co-op. Do not recommend them. Not because they're bad, just they're not for me. My kids do sports, so they get enough socializing there. And those were the big 4 that I learned.